Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Shepaug Valley High School's annual Athletic Awards Night. Tonight's a special night where all of our varsity letter winners are invited to attend and be recognized for their achievements on the field, on the court, and in all the different athletic arenas. Tonight will be highlighted by some of our top awards given, culminated by the Joseph Babcock Award and the Charles McGinnis Award. One of the things that is unique about Shepaug's Athletic Awards Night is it's one of the only ones that is cumulative, that takes place at the end of the year. It's based on the Shepaug Athletic Point System, which was created a long time ago, long before I was around. I'm not sure if it was the 60s, the 50s, the 70s, by Ted Alex and Joan Gauthier. And when it was created, one of the big intents of this athletic point system was to encourage student athletes to participate in multiple sports. Because at the time it was created, Shepaug was very, very small. And in order to succeed in the sports arena, we really depended on our good athletes to not specialize in one sport, but to play multiple sports. It's just as important now as it was then for us to have multiple sport athletes. And as you'll see, our top award winners at the end of the night are all multi-sport athletes. I'd like to thank everyone in attendance here, not only for just attending tonight, but for your support all year long. Being a parent, a grandparent, a family member of a student athlete is a difficult job. All the rides back and forth, all the missed meals, all the practices, the games, the late nights. It's truly a collaborative family effort. So when one of our teams, when one of our individuals enjoys athletic success, it's not just that one individual, but it's a collective effort, not only from the coaching staff and team members and opponents, but family members are just as important too. And on behalf of the whole athletic department, I would really like to express our gratitude for the support that we get from the families. Without further ado, I'm going to, well, actually, before I turn this over to the coaches, I know there's a shortage of programs, and I'm going to get some more printed. So by the time the coaches are done speaking, there'll be some more programs out on the table, out in the lobby. But without further ado, I would like to call on our first speaker of the evening, our boys cross-country coach, Mr. Tom Scarola.
What could be better? Third by 2 points in Class S last year. Our entire team returning. The numbers showing that we are in control of the Berkshire League and Class S. A big team with 30-plus athletes. New uniforms sporting Shepaug printed vertically on the back of the singlet for all runners behind us to see. And a powerful vibe. What could be better? Or is it too good to be true? Time to start racing, led by our seniors, Clayton Furmender, Joseph Freeland, Nico Fiorito, and Hunter Bohan. This powerful group began dismantling our competition. Every one of our kids bought into our philosophy of executing a controlled, winning effort. Times dropped. First and second year guys dropping minutes off their times. Third and fourth year leaders following race plans, strategically beating marked competition and moving closer to their goal times. We decided racing at more invitationals, bigger races that simulate the Berkshire League and Class S championship would be the best preparation for those races. Shepaug's varsity and JV began to serve notice that not only this team, but this entire program is on the verge of stepping to another level, wrecking competition, and beginning to look like the group that could compete with the best in the state. Northwest, who hadn't ever won a Berkshire League championship, was disposed of at our regular season meet. They are faster up front. We have the pack and depth. The perfect scenario plays out at the Stratton Brook Invitational. Our super sophomore decides to hip check a runner in the shoe, gets DQ'd, and Northwest beats us. It was awesome to watch the faces on our kids as Northwest walked up and received the trophy. Smoke and fire coming from our kids. We go to the Winding Trails Invitational and win it. Shepaug, with the cool uniforms, now has the Invitational trophy. We also have our own athletes putting pressure on our top 7. Watch out. The Nottawag Invitational is fast. Most racers get their season's best times there. We are by far the strongest BL and Class S team that day. The last regular season race is versus Nottawag at home, then on to Berks in Class S. The Monday after the Nottawag Invitational was a perfect day. The team was loose, relaxed, healthy. Jim Lowe and I are walking up from our run on the track when Clayton met me and said, I better come with him. Several very bad decisions and the aftermath. I came down hard. I suspended them for 2 weeks. No undefeated season, no Berkshire League championship. Northwest wins its first BL title. On the day of the Berkshire League Championship, I stood back and watched our 30-plus athletes, with all of them wearing their brand new long-sleeve t-shirt sweat top. They were all hanging together, being together. They had little Trey LeMay running with them, sometimes being picked up along the way. They looked like such a close team. They held themselves together like a family who had been through an earthquake. As much as I knew that I had done the right thing, I felt for them. I am so proud of them. It could have all disintegrated right there. It almost did several times that week. But these kids didn't let it. They displayed the words of the moment: character, achievement, leadership, and courage. 1 week later, our Spartans stood in the huddle prior to the Class S championship. Redemption. Please God help them. I must be the luckiest man in the world because Mike Hall was there to give them their final words. I couldn't speak. He said calmly and fiercely, none of that matters now. The pain is going to come. It is how you respond to the pain that matters. Beat people at the finish. We always meet at the same spot at Wickham Park after the Class S race. Some guys had good races, others okay, some not so good. Didn't matter. They overcame. They did it. Shepaug Valley, 2014-15 Class S champions. Thank you to all of the athletes and families, Jim Lowe, Mike Hall, Mr. Parachi, Ms. Gallo, and all of you who support us. I had it in my hands, which I should. I'd like to present the Class S Championship Trophy to Ms. Gallo. I would like to introduce as our next speaker, our girls soccer coach, Tara Flaherty.
And this is Patrick. This has been a great year for the girls' soccer team. Improvement in any achievement activity does not come without struggle, without times of discomfort and difficulty. We had some highs and lows with some crazy injuries, but gelled together as a team and persevered. Our record was 8-6-2 in the league and 1-1 in the state tournament. The team had phenomenal gameplay during the state tournament, though a loss at any stage is always tough to swallow. The team commanded respect from other league teams through disciplined play and competitive spirit. This can be attributed to the seniors who have really stepped up to lead an infusion of young players in sportsmanship, scholarship, and gameplay. I could not be prouder of the special group of young ladies. Each young woman on the team represented Shepaug with grace, poise, character, and sportsmanship. I really couldn't be any prouder. Specific members of our team received several honors this year. Caroline Kelly was selected first team All-Berkshire League and All-State. Samantha Morosky was selected unanimously as first team All-Berkshire League. Sarah Stratton and Margot Wilhelm were selected second team All-Berkshire League, and Samantha Patrick was selected as honorable mention All-Berkshire League. This year's senior class have been such a pleasure to coach over the past 4 years. Each young woman has their own personality and flavor that they bring to the team. Maren Keefe is one of the sweetest young ladies on the soccer field, but at the same time a fierce defender. Even though she has her bad and good months, she never gives up and always perseveres. She's such a tough competitor and yet very kind to her teammates and competition. This dichotomy really demonstrates how to have determination while maintaining grace and composure. We will have a tough time replacing her on defense. Sarah Stratton began a frustrating season with a phone call to me last year when she told me about her knee injury. She worked through physical therapy and strength training to try to live up to her dream senior year. Though it may not have been exactly as she had wished, Sarah's determination, work ethic, and ability to adjust to a difficult situation really showed her leadership both on and off the field. I have so much respect for her courage and compassion for her teammates. She was the heart and soul of the team and an athlete that we will truly miss. Maisie Wanog was nicknamed my dream catcher. I have very vivid dreams about goals scored and saved every soccer season. And Maisie and I frequently began our pregame discussions about one of those dreams. She's a great midfielder with a vision of the game. She strategically knows where to be on the field. Maisie always has a kind word to say about her teammates, always looks on the bright side of any challenge, and is just a joy to be around. We will all miss her tremendously. Margot Wilhelm has been a rock-hard defender. She's so intense on the field. She's been very focused and driven the entire season. Margot has been very compassionate to the younger players and was able to relate to our freshmen and mentor them to be great contributors as well. Her mental toughness is difficult to beat. Leadership is not easy, but Margot made it seem effortless on a daily basis. She's irreplaceable. Luke Wright and Jade Walker have been our team managers for a number of years. They put up with a lot of stress from the coaches during the game, avoided flying objects, and always did a great job with the book. We will really miss them. They're exceptional, and we're going to have a very difficult job finding some skilled replacements. We're going to have to find a way to fill all the holes that our seniors are going to leave as we look forward to next season. Thank you, girls, for a great year. I would like to introduce as our next speaker our boys soccer coach, Jim Stinson.
Good evening. When I think of the 2014 soccer season, what comes to mind is the opportunities to learn lessons that it provided, and there were many lessons. Every practice, every game, there were situations for us to learn. Unfortunately, in high school sports, like high school itself, very often those lessons that you learned are not apparent until much later, either in the season, the year, or in years to come. So what did we learn? We learned that, one, there is never a good time for a concussion. Right, Nick? All right. We also learned when is the right time to applaud. Right, Marcus? We also learned that if there is a contest between Travis's arm and Robert's nose, Travis's arm will win every single time. We also learned that Andrew likes to name his athletic team. We'll leave it at that. So, in all seriousness, I truly believe that what we learned from our season was always to be ready for the challenge, never to underestimate your opponent, and above all, leave everything that you have on the field. These are the lessons that will serve us well as we move forward and look to next season as we apply this knowledge. To my returning players, I am looking forward to the potential that you're going to bring to this program next year. To my seniors, Nick, Zach, Travis, Marcus, Daniel, Sam, Andrew, Brian, Rob, Logan, Christian, and I'm throwing Barcelona Mark in there as well as Kate, Jenna, and Ben. I will miss your sense of humor and your dedication to each other as you work to make the team better. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. I would like to now introduce as our next speaker, our field hockey coach, Jay Stewart.
Good evening. The Shepaug varsity field hockey team finished their regular season at 500 and once again found themselves traveling to Stonington for the third time in the last 4 years. The girls enjoyed an eventful season, and joining our coaching staff this fall, were Danielle Chacon and former Shepaug standout Stacy Sullivan. The highlight of our season was beating Wamogo 2-1 on their field, which has been a goal of mine and our team for the last 2 years. The seniors on this year's team included co-captains Alden Kane and Kelsey Johnson, Caitlin Smith, Julie Collins, Molly Mercier, and Rachel Crosley. These girls were all leaders in their own right, and their ability to bring the team to the level of play, intensity, and dedication to the sport has been apparent since their freshman year. The team lost Alden early in the season from an unfortunate collision, and the remainder of the season, the seniors rallied to make up for the loss of that leadership. The front line, including Caitlin Smith and Haley Pesci, became a force to be reckoned with, combining for 17 goals for the season. And the remainder of the front line chipping in another 18 goals from 6 different underclassmen. Our assist leader of the season was Paige Johnson with a total of 10. Goalkeeping duo of Rachel Genoa and Sadie Fleming combined for 3 shutouts. Molly Mercier, Mary Beth Seeger, and Kelsey Johnson were selected to the Berkshire League first team. Second team, Brenda Gutierrez and Haley Pesci were honored. Selection to the second team All-State and All-State academic team was Kelsey. As always, we appreciated the help that our athletic trainer Chris Schneider and athletic director Matt Pracci provided. Thanks to the parents who offered their homes for dinner, picnics, and pool time, and for supporting their daughters' endeavors throughout the fall season. Ms. Chacon shared her thoughts on the season and very much enjoyed her coaching experience here at Shepaug. We all wish her much success with the next team she coaches, as she has left a gentle touch on Shepaug athletics. I would like to congratulate my team on their poise and ability to respect the game, respect their opponents and themselves, while having the presence to compete fiercely, yet remembering it's a game. So at this time, I proudly would like to present Mrs. Gallo with the Berkshire League Sportsmanship Trophy. I would like to introduce as our next speaker, our girls cross country captain, Jenna Roche.
I'm reading for Jim Lowe, our cross-country coach. 2 events define this year's cross-country season. Alejandra ending up in the hospital after the Berkshire League scrimmage, and my very first meet as a girls' high school coach, and Gemma's squall game. Never thought I would end up at a hospital after a cross-country meet, let alone one that doesn't count. No Alejandra for the rest of the season. That certainly was a tough blow, with only 7 girls on the roster and 6 eligible to compete. We got the most out of our season, going 5-4 with only 5 girls competing every meet. It would vary on who missed due to injury or sickness, but we were able to score and enjoy success. With only 2 seniors, 4 sophomores, and a freshman, experience was lacking. Lauren was our rock, Tia never stopped talking, Bree was the caring, gentle mom, Emily was the head complainer, and Megan was the anchor, always coming through when we needed her to. Lauren and Tia ended up second team all-league in their first true cross-country seasons as sophomores and show great promise for next year. I definitely enjoyed coaching this group of girls. They nestled a special place in my heart somehow, which I would never admit to them in person. All the torture they put me through certainly drove me crazy, but when it came down to racing, they always gave it their all, for me, of course. I would like to thank Brees for sticking with her senior season and being a positive role model for the underclassmen. You know your team's in good hands with such a great person. I wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors. Ironically, as Gemma is reading the speech for me, she must be extremely upset that I barely mentioned her and basically avoided talking about her. Don't worry, I saved the best for last. I wanted you to truly have your moment to shine. Not only did Gemma do her best to literally drive me to insanity, she found a way every day of the season to get me angry. Whether it was asking questions, trying to put icy hot on me during bus rides, putting anything that belonged to nature on my car, which the team tried to deny all season, until I caught them in the act, or the dreadful squawking noise she does, she accomplished it. Not only is the squawking irritating, I wouldn't even have to visually see her to know she was around. Down the hallways, running during practice, on the bus, didn't matter, always the squawking. And it didn't stop after cross country. Every time I see her, she continues to do it, so it is a permanent mental scar I will never be able to get rid of. Thankfully, Gemma is graduating, and the first day of practice in the fall will be undisclosed, so she can't make it if she's still around before college. In all seriousness, just as I stated before, with Bree, Gemma is a great person who will be missed. They were great leaders and captains who didn't need to be the best on the team to make an impact. I know the girls will miss you both. I'd like to thank Marissa, who was our manager and did a fantastic job. Thank you to Tom Scarola, Matt Parachi, Chris, maintenance, and all the family support. Thank you. I would like to introduce as our next speaker our ice hockey coach, Mike Gora.
Thank you. I first just want to start off by congratulating all the student athletes here tonight on their hard work, competitive spirit, and fair play this year. And for all you graduating seniors out there, I want to encourage you to continue to stay involved in sports, whether it's collegiate level, intramurals in college, or rec programs in the towns that you move to, or even consider coaching or officiating, and then giving back to what you've gotten here in your 4 years at Shepaug. Coaching is really rewarding. You talk to any of the coaches here, and it's a lot of fun. It's a way to stay in the game. So I'll just start off real quickly with the thank yous. So one thing for hockey, I have to thank the parents because practices are in the evenings. They're driving their kids all over the place. It's an expensive sport, and I really appreciate the support that the parents and the Booster Club gives to the hockey program. Thanks to Chris Snyder, the trainer. She was quite busy this year. I really can't imagine that there exists a more diligent trainer in the Berkshire League. Mr. Parachi, who's helped me through several challenges, some of the biggest ones at the beginning of the season this year. I really can't thank you enough for your support. And then thanks to the fans here at Shepaug, who kind of were matched by the fans at Litchfield and Nanawa, because we are a co-op sport, and it was nice to see the different schools come together and support one team. It was fun seeing you in the stands out there. Hopefully we've gained some hockey fans, and we'll see you next season. I want to thank my assistant coach, Jason Conway, he was handling the defense, and he's always been so supportive of me, and he was great with the kids. And then a thank you to our managers, new managers this year, Molly Mercier and Sandra Garcia, who handled the stats, did a great job. And then Connor Schur, who I don't know if he had a chance, but he live streamed a lot of our games and did a great job, muddled through a bunch of wireless or cell service problems with poise. So, as I said before, hockey is a co-op program with Litchfield and Nonawag. So we don't play in the Berkshire League, we play in the Southwest Conference, Southern Connecticut Conference. It's a combined conference. We play a lot of big teams. So, one of the teams we play is Bethel, Brookfield, Danbury Co-op, which is gigantic. New Fairfield, Immaculate, Sheehan, Massac, Barlow. So these are the teams that we're competing with every year. This year was really a tale of kind of two seasons. We started off a little bit rough, 2-7. We started off with 5 major penalties in just 4 games, and that was, it wasn't the typical Shepaug play. It was a little bit embarrassing, frankly, and 7 majors in the entire season disqualifies him from postseason play. So the team turned it around, played the next 20 games with no major penalties. I was really proud of them, and the way that they handled themselves and came beyond that. I don't know if it was the New Jerseys that showed up or what, but their attitude totally changed, and we rattled off 7 wins in a row, and then we ended up 10-10 in the regular season. So actually, as far as I can tell, I don't think Shepaug hockey's ever won 7 games in a row, so that was pretty exciting. We ended the season 3rd in our conference out of 8 teams. So it was the first time we made it to the conference tournament in 10 years. That behemoth co-op of BBD, well, we beat them twice, which was pretty cool. We had 2 exciting overtime wins. If you caught the one at home against Lyman Hall on Alumni Day, Travis Fitch scored from the point, and then our manager, Connor Schur, made the call, probably better than Al Michaels did at Lake Placid. That's how you win it, boys. You can still see it up online on our cube. So if you want to catch it, it actually made the national highlight reel on that. So Connor, I'll remember that as long as I live. So thank you for doing that. I really appreciate it. We actually split with the other Berkshire League team. Housatonic, Wamoga, Northwestern has a co-op. So I guess maybe that's another Berkshire League title. Beat them 2-1 early in the season and lost a heartbreaker in overtime in the season finale. So then there's the state tournament. So we finished 10-10, put us ranked 12th in the state, behind in Division III, behind we ended up playing number 5 BBD. So it was the second time we played them, and we beat them on their home ice 4-2. So that had us playing Woodstock Academy, quarterfinals, Northford Ice Arena, a fan bus from Shepaug. It was awesome to see all the fans out there. We went up 4-1, ended the second period, we're down 5-4, and popped in 3 goals in that third period to get to our first semifinals in 12 years. And that game, I think, it's got to be Andrew Loya's best game of his career. The team scored 7 goals, and he had 7 points in that game. So another unexpected first that win created was one of our players, actually my daughter, Madeline Gora. That made her to be the first girl to play in the boys ice hockey semifinals in the history of the tournament for any division. So that was pretty exciting. So as you know, we played the top seed, E.O. Smith, in the finals, a team that beat us 7-0 earlier in the season. So we were a little bit awed by the Final Four atmosphere at Yale, and we ended up losing to the eventual winners of the tournament. But regardless of the outcome, I'm so proud of these players for what they came through after the start of that season. A number 12 seed making it to the Final Four with the other 1, 2, and 3 seeds in the tournament. So our strong finish put us at number 4th in the state in the Division III ESPN poll. We also had some great individual accolades from two of our strong seniors. One, a 4-year senior, Christian Stewart, who was all-conference second team, and he played in the all-senior team game, and that's the seniors from all divisions. Congratulations, Christian. Sure. And then Andrew Loya, who's clearly one of the best, if not the best, hockey players that came through Shepaug. His accolades this year were all-conference first team, the conference most valuable player, all-state Division III first team, and he was the Connecticut State Division III MVP. Congratulations, Andrew. I want to thank this year's team, sophomores, Ricky Gamelin, Maddie Gora, Thomas Roche, juniors, Creighton Moore, Danny Glazer, Gabe DeMeo, and then the seniors, the three seniors that we're going to be missing, Travis Fitch, Christian Stewart, and Andrew Loya. Thank you for the most memorable season I've had in a long time. It was a great run. Thank you. Now I'd like to introduce our next speaker, our swim coach, Chris Pepson.
It is bright up here. All right, this is really cool to be back at Shepaug as a coach after graduating back in 2001, which makes me feel pretty old since some of you were probably born in 2000 or 2001. But if it makes me feel old, being one of the youngest coaches here, just think how all those other guys feel. First, I would like to thank Matt Paracci for giving me this opportunity to be part of a great program and coach an amazing team. But tonight, it's about each and every one of you, especially those swimmers and divers. There's a quote that I love: the real purpose of racing isn't to win a race. Maybe it is, but it's to test the limits of the human heart. Even though this year was a rebuilding year for the team, and after graduating a large senior class, and having 2 new coaches, no matter what challenge stood in front of the team, they swam every race as if it were their last. And I couldn't be more proud to see the effort that they put in this year. This year's BL record was 10-2, both losses to Northwestern. They are an Army with at least 63 athletes on their team. This year we had 28 student athletes. At the end of the season, we had a total of 242 personal best times. Congratulations. 3 records were broken by 2 swimmers, Colin Decker and Michaela O'Malley. Colin broke his previous record in the 100 freestyle, and Michaela broke 2 freshman records. Michaela's fast, so she has 3 more years left, so you better come up. Michaela broke the freshman record in the 50 freestyle, which was 10 years old, and the 100 freestyle record, which was set back in 1999 by Mindy Morris. Congratulations, Michaela. We had a total of 4 Berkshire League champions: Colin Decker, champion in the 50 freestyle 100 backstroke; Clayton Furmender, champion in the 100 butterfly; Sean LaVille, champion in diving; and Haley Pesci, girls champion in the 200 freestyle and 100 butterfly. We had 10 athletes qualify for the state championship meet: Colin, Clayton, Dan, Ed, Haley, Michaela, John DeFont, Sean LaVille, Dylan Bennett, and Cody Jordan. Shepaug placed 7th in Class S out of 30 teams, which is huge for only having 10 athletes qualify for this meet. I would really like to thank our assistant coach, Griffin DeCaro, for all you have done this season. Parents, thank you for your help throughout the season. You are all amazing. Captains, Margot Wilhelm, Gemma Roach, and Clayton Furmender, thank you for helping lead this team to another successful season. You will all be missed next year. This team continues to grow with talent, and we cannot wait to see what upcoming seasons will bring. Congratulations to each and every one of you. And now I would like to introduce the girls basketball coach, Karen Puskas.
Good evening. Our girls basketball team once again stepped on the court in November with 12 girls, 4 of which were freshmen. The decision was made to go through the season as a varsity team and hopefully play some JV games on off-peak days with our younger athletes. We had a core group of athletes returning from last year, so while small in numbers, I felt we were mighty with talent, experience, and enthusiasm. My second year with these girls looked to be a welcoming opportunity to make some noise around the gym and be noticed. As we began to stand on the foundation we built the year before, the team suddenly found itself atop the Berkshire League standings after New Year's with a 6-2 record. Our senior co-captains Kelsey Johnson and Caitlin McGrath led our charge, and halfway through the season, we stood at 8-2. The second half of the season was going to be tough, and wins were going to be harder as we moved into February. Playing teams the second time around made it hard, as they were better prepared for us, and knowing our weakness was in numbers on the bench, they began to capitalize. While our core group of upperclassmen were playing consistent, our 3 freshmen began to rise and were able to give us some added punch and additional weaponry against our opponents. As we went into our last regular season game, we began to look at the possibilities the postseason had ahead for us. The Berkshire League Tournament, a place the team hadn't found itself in several seasons, and the state tournament, also missing from Shepaug's resume for a few years. Getting through both first rounds with wins was an achievable goal, which we knew was within reach. But then the unthinkable happened. I stood on the sidelines in Thomaston in the last regular season game and watched senior Kelsey Johnson come off the court in agony holding her hand. One look told me it was broken, and in an instant, our season changed. We went on to lose that last regular season game, but finished at a respectable 13-7, which was good enough to land us in 5th place in the Berkshire League Tournament, and also qualified us for a home game in the state tournament. The saddest part is that we lost our senior, our captain, and our leader for the rest of the year. And in the end of February, this was going to be hard shoes to fill, as Kelsey's enthusiasm, passion, and guidance on the court were a part of that foundation we built on, ran on, and scored on. So we moved into the postseason. Caitlin took the reins and piloted the team through the first rounds of each tournament. We encountered more team injury and player loss and found ourselves out of the tournament sooner than we thought or what we wanted. But success still rang for our team, as our season was a big success. We took a team who went 6-14 the year before to the league and state tourneys and brought respect back to the Shepaug gym. The team won the IABLE Referees Board Sportsmanship Award for the first time in over 20 years. Junior forward Caroline Kelly was a first-team All-Berkshire League selection and also Connecticut High School Scholastic Basketball Class S All-State selection. And along with junior Samantha Moravsky, who was named honorable mention in the Berkshire League, they'll be back next year as our co-captains, leading our quest for yet bigger triumphs, successes, and achievements. Our 2 seniors of Kelsey and Caitlin will be gone, but they will always be a part of the foundation we have built over the past 2 seasons. A part of our continued success will always be credited to them, and I hope they know how inspiring and motivating they have been to myself and the team. I wish you the best of luck, and thank you. At this time, I'd like to present Mrs. Gallo with the IABLE Referees Board 7 Sportsmanship Award. I would like to introduce as our next speaker, boys basketball coach, Matt Levin.
Good evening. I came in to Shepaug 2 years ago with Karen, and what I've learned in 2 years is that it's a wonderful environment, very supportive environment, led by Principal Gallo and Athletic Director Matt Paracci, and it's been a great place to coach. When I started last year, we had everything in place except we had virtually no talent. So, and our first year we battled, we fought, we practiced hard. Nobody practices harder, but we couldn't get much of a result. This year coming in, we said, okay, we've got to do better. And so both at the freshman, JV, and varsity level, we knew we had to start winning games. And so we went from winning 2 games to winning 27 as a program, which isn't objectively off the charts, but for us it was a tremendous achievement. We started out really just working hard in December, and the guys know how hard we work. We work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and if we can, Saturday and Sunday. And we come early and we lift weights and we work very, very, very hard. Then the seniors came in, and it was a lot up to these guys as to what they wanted to make of their season. We started off with some successes. We hit a midpoint where we had struggled, and then we were at a point of 5 wins, and we had to do something to right our ship. Ben Levine had broken his hand. That didn't help us. And the seniors banded together and really played terrifically. We won 3 improbable games in a row. We got to 8, which was tremendous for us because it qualified us for both the BL tournament and the state tournament for the first time in a number of years. And the guys really surprised everyone around the league. I was very, very proud of the seniors because we could have gone one of 2 ways with the season, and they really banded together and worked hard, and that was just a tremendous accomplishment for them. Meanwhile, our younger guys were really working hard. We started finally winning some freshman games in the program, which to us is very, very important. And the JV team, the development of what we call the Fab Five really took hold, and we really competed very, very well. We went into the BL tournament game, and we played extraordinarily well. We had a 5-point lead in the 4th quarter. We couldn't quite hold on, but it was against a Nonawag team that we had lost by 25 and 30 points previously. So I could be nothing but proud of how they played. We went into the state tournament game, and we couldn't get it done, but in hindsight, we had accomplished a tremendous amount. The seniors were great throughout, and they really banded together at the end. Krebs, Yalagan, McCarthy, Levine, and Taylor. What I told them at the end of the year is that I'm going to tell you thank you very much, because any program that's rebuilding has to rebuild from somewhere, and there has to be hardship that you go through, and these guys were the guinea pigs that we had to go through with hardship. We wind back next year with 2 of our co-captains, Ryan LeMay and Clayton Schneider, so we have a very good base, and we have our what we call our Fab Five, which is the young LeMay, Dusky Dutcher, Welsh, and Crossley, and when we have some promising freshmen coming up with Stinson and Fiore. So we're very, very enthusiastic about what we can do. I'm very, very pleased to be here, and I thank you for the opportunity. And the next speaker will be our cheerleading coach. I also extend a warm thanks to her because she does a tremendous job of getting that gym going for us before basketball games. It's really invaluable for us. Alicia Ignara.
Last year, after I gave my speech, I thought it would be the last where I talked about a season full of firsts, but this season proved me wrong. This year, for the first time, we adapted the Spartan cheerleading program to include a pep squad, a group of students who cheered from the stands in collaboration with the cheerleaders on the sidelines to bring a renewed sense of school spirit. For any of you who attended the varsity basketball game this winter, you know the feeling that I am talking about. This season was also a first with young leadership. We had 5 young team leaders this year who worked together to provide support to their teammates. Lindsay, Ashley, Kaylee, Lauren, and Emily, thank you for your time and commitment to the team this season. To the parents, thank you for your continued support. Thank you for always being there to provide rides and support for our girls in the stands. It always made me and the girls proud to see how many parents in the stands were Spartan cheerleading parents. To the girls who have become part of the Shepaug cheerleading family, I hope you have as many fun and kooky memories from the season as I did. No matter how many times I said, give me 8, or stop it, you've got this, you always had it. Overall, we had a good season. I was proud to see us build so much crowd participation this year, and I hope that the Spartan spirit continues to grow next season. Thank you. I would like to introduce as our next speaker our girls tennis coach, Joanne Kelly.
Thanks for that. So last year, I joked about an overly optimistic expectations. For 2015, Litchfield was the heavy favorite, and Lewis Mills also looked strong, so I was well immunized against that particular virus. But with most of last year's 11-5 team returning, and several who had put in some time in the off-season, I knew that with the right attitude, sustained focus, and a willingness to work, we had a chance. Hints of a rare season came early and in all forms, like the new ball machine and the power to run it that now existed, and like the 4 feet of hard-packed snow and ice that stood between our new machine and the courts we hoped to use it on. For the first time ever, ice breaking and snow shoveling became part of the preseason workout, and an early match had to be called midway through due to a raging snow squall. But after the snow had melted and the wind died down, and 17 hard-fought matches later, what was left standing was indeed rare. Shepaug girls tennis had run the table 17-0 and were the undefeated and undisputed Berkshire League regular season champions. Team tennis is unique in its demand of individual efforts to make a team successful. You fight for every point in every game on your own in hopes of earning one of the critical 4 points required for a team victory. Well, we had some real fighters in the ring this year. Our 4 singles players set the stage every match, fighting their way to an amazing combined win-loss record of 65-3. Haley Pesci goes 15-2, Emma Verbickus 16-1, and Caroline Kelly and Kate Klein each a perfect 17-0. Our doubles teams took a little longer to get their footing and find their rhythm, but once they did, they were just as fierce. Number 1, Molly Mercier and Maddie Gora. Number 2, Jackie Dorwald and Margaret Walk. And number 3, Gemma Roche and Michaela O'Malley all had strong overall winning records as well. At the Berkshire League tournament in doubles, all 3 teams make it to day 2, the quarterfinals. Gemma and Michaela go down early in a hard-fought match, and a heartbreaking knee injury to Jackie forces Margaret and her to default. But over the course of the day, Molly and Maddie proceed to harness and channel their inner tennis beasts and play at a gear we always believed existed but had not yet seen. They down the number 2 and 3 teams from Litchfield in succession to gain the final against the defending league champs. And in that match, they shocked everyone in attendance, hitting passing shots and lobs not seen before, and for which their opponents had no answer. They toppled the defending champs to become 2015's Berkshire League doubles champions. In the singles, Haley, Kate, and Emma all put in strong showings, but unfortunately fall by the end of the first day. Only Caroline remains, but she also brings her A game to day 2. She beats the number 1 singles player from Nonawa to earn the semifinals, where her run ended last year in a drubbing by the Litchfield number 1. This year, her added power eventually wears out the freshman phenom number 2 from Litchfield, and immediately after the euphoria of her teammates' doubles win, she finds herself in the final, again facing Litchfield's number 1. Like last year, Caroline goes down early, but that was then, this was now. She steels herself and fights back to win and join her teammates on the podium as the Berkshire League singles champion. Congratulations again to all 3 for their all-star performance. State tournament hopes ended sooner than any of us wanted earlier this week with a tough 3-4 loss to Old Lyme, bringing to close an amazing team season. Good luck goes out to Caroline, Haley, Molly, and Maddie, who are all playing in the State Open tomorrow. A couple of quick thank yous. As always, to Mr. Parachi for your support of the tennis program and patience with the ever-moving target that we call a tennis schedule. To our loyal fan base who shows up snacks in hand, no matter where or what the weather. You can applaud for the snacks, it's okay. To our players off the bench this year, Alyssa Ciccio, Marissa Prezioso, Megan Tracy, and Lexi Jabot, I know the fear that you feel when I point at you and say you're playing today, so thanks for your courage and being there when we needed you. And to our seniors, Emma, Marissa, Molly, and Gemma, it's been so much fun getting to know you all over the last few years, and I wish you nothing but the best as you move on to bigger and better things. You will always be members of the Shepaug tennis family, so please come back and visit often. At this time, it truly gives me pleasure to ask Mrs. Gallo to come up and receive the 2015 Berkshire League Girls Tennis Championship plaque. I'd like to introduce next our boys tennis coach, Chris Sutton.
Good evening. I am bursting with some news that I'd like to share with you. This is very fresh news, hot off the press. We have a young man sitting among us who comes to us from Spain, and he overcame a lot of adversity. He learned the American way very quickly, and he quickly and against all odds became the Berkshire League tennis champion, and as of yesterday, the state Class S champion. Mark Salaskola, would please stand up for a second? So 2 days ago, we were at the semifinals. It was the quarterfinals, actually, Wednesday at Conard High School. And Mark was playing this 6'3" guy, Eastern European, huge monster guy with a wicked left-hand serve. And Mark was down 3-0 in the first set. And I said, "Come on, Mark, you can do this." And he said, Coach, I can't do this. Look, he is disgusting." So I think Mark became Americanized very quickly. And Mark went on to win that match, and the next match, and yesterday's the next match, the championship match. So Mark, you are the one who is disgusting. It's been quite a year for Shepaug tennis, and quite frankly for me as well. If you had told me a year ago that I would be standing in front of you giving the speech, coaching at a Berkshire League school. I was at a different school. I had never coached a varsity sport. I was fairly new to the game of tennis. So for me to be here today is just, it's like a dream come true. And having coached a state championship from champion from Spain, I just can't believe it. It's still like pinch me, right? So this year we improved markedly on last year's record. We finished at 500 with a 9-9 record, qualifying the team for the state tournament, which is a great experience for all those that participated. We had to overcome a lot of adversity this year, perhaps none greater than the weather. As you heard, when practices first started in March, the courts were still covered with snow. We had to improvise. We hit a lot of balls in the parking lot, and if you found a small yellow fuzzy dent in your car, you have Sam Pontalillo to thank for that. Finally, after a couple weeks, the snow melted and we were able to play on the courts, but Mother Nature wasn't done with us. We had some matches in weather that was more fit for ice hockey than tennis. During one home match, it started to hail. It is tough enough to hit one ball, but when millions of little balls are falling all around you, it becomes a little bit tougher. We did take a 40-minute hail break, and we came back to win that match. There was another one. This was the match of the year. This is at Lewis Mills. We were heavily the underdog at Lewis Mills, and it was another one of those cold, raw, rainy days, sort of rainy. And I told the team that the donuts and hot chocolate would be on me if we won the match. Well, we split the first 4 matches. It was 2-2, and it all came down to the last doubles match. And I had just, the week before, convinced Jim Hagan to join the team, and he was going to play with Tom Roche for the first time in that doubles match. They were wearing jeans. They didn't seem like they were prepared for tennis, and jackets to keep warm. And they had their hand in their pocket to keep their hand warm. And somehow, someway, with Jim's patented underhanded serve, and with Tom holding his tennis racket like a bass guitar, and with visions of donuts dancing in their heads, these guys pulled out the match of the year. It was incredible. It was an incredible display of something. I don't know what. I learned a lot as a coach that day, but mostly I learned the tremendous motivating power of donuts. There are a lot of people I would like to thank this evening. First of all, to Principal Gallo for hiring me last summer to be part of this wonderful learning community. Thank you. I want to thank Matt Paracci for hiring me as tennis coach and being so supportive throughout the season. Third, I would like to thank all the parents who organized and brought the much-needed snacks for the team. They organized the buying the sweatshirts, and they were always there cheering on their sons in all sorts of weather, near and far. We have a great, dedicated core of parents, so definitely thank you to those. Most importantly, I would like to thank this year's players who welcomed me as their coach and made this season extremely rewarding. So thank you to Lars, Jack, Tom, Jim, Sam, Josh, and Mark. Oh, and finally, I want to thank Spain for letting us borrow Mark for the year. I'd like to introduce as our next speaker our boys track captain, Clayton Furmender.
So unfortunately, Coach Jimmy Lowe wasn't able to make it today, so I'll be making the speech for him. 2015 was a bounce-back season for the team. The first meet was supposed to be April 8th, but that didn't happen until April 21st. That week, we opened with Onawag, who turned out later to be the champions, and only lost by 9. That meet was 70 degrees and beautiful. Just 2 days later, we traveled up to Northwest, and with 2 different blizzards, we somehow come away with a tie, which is nearly impossible. In 3 days, facing the 2 best teams, we put up a good fight. The team ended up going 6-2-1 and elevated themselves out of mediocrity. At the BL Championships, we were good enough to be third and scored 102 points, roughly 70 points better than the previous season. Our lone all-stars were the 4x1 team of Rob Carpelozzi, Colin Decker, Quentin Walsh, and Trevor McGinney. So a round of applause for them. A few more seconds by James Kish in the shot put. Sorry for the poor English, that was Jimmy. Ed Wolf in the 1600, Steve Williams in the javelin, and Trevor McGinney in the 300 hurdles. It would have been a much better day, but nonetheless, still a pretty good showing. I would also like to recognize Sean Welsh, who will be competing at the state open championship on Monday. Sean placed 5th in the 800 meters at the Class S meet, which was the final spot. Also, shout out to the 4x1 team. If not for poor conditions and some DQs, would have been also in the state Open championship. So, props to them. On a side note, if the fascination with tennis balls, frisbees, and football is actually translated to something productive for track, we would have been a better force. As I told the team many times, there's a reason why we don't have a football team, and you're all track athletes. Clayton Furmender led us in the distance. James Kish and Keyshawn Hudson, who bearing a season-long injury for sprinting, led us in the throwing. Nico Friedro in the mid-distance and Nick Crawford in the jumping. All make contributions to the team this season as seniors. Their losses will need to be filled next season in order to have a contending season. I wish you guys the best of luck in the future. With only 5 seniors graduating, the team returns the bulk of their scoring for next season. The team will rely heavily on the upcoming senior class to battle for the next title next season. I'd like to thank Danielle Ciccone and Lori Ferranti for the help as assistants, John Adaricio, Tom Scorola, Chris Schneider, maintenance, Matt Paracci, and any others who I may have forgotten to get through another season. Thank you. I'd like to introduce, as our next speaker, our girls track captain, Margot Wilhelm.
Track coach couldn't be here this evening, so I'm reading the speech. Good evening. I would like to start off by congratulating the entire Shepaug athletic department. It's been a very exciting spring season. Collectively, we have made some noise in the BL, and good things are happening with the Spartans. This all happens because of the excellent effort of our student athletes and the support from our community. The girls' track team welcomed a new assistant coach, Lori Bishop. Her enthusiasm coupled with her positive attitude was an excellent addition to the Spartan team. I personally appreciated how she organized baked goods after each and every meet. Thank you, Lori, for everything. I would also like to thank Amy Thayer for working with the throwing team and Chris for keeping our athletes healthy. I want to give a special thanks to Mr. Paracci and Mrs. Gallo for always supporting the Spartan track and field teams. The season started with absurd weather, even for New England standards. Snow on the track and blistering cold temperatures led the team to practice inside for the first week. We had a blizzard during one of our meets at Northwestern and a monsoon at our Class S state championships. Even with all these obstacles, the girls' track team finished 6-3 and finished 4th in the Berkshire League Championship. This was a very big improvement from last year, and we will continue to get better. This improvement is a reflection of the great leadership we have on the team. Captains Margot, Caitlin, and Sam led by example and always put themselves before the team. I mean, the team before themselves. This was evident in the 4x100 meter relay during one of our Berkshire League meets when one of our seniors, Caitlin Smith, threw up. No, she wasn't able to compete in the race, but she did scare the other teams. Another example would be one of my seniors, Margot Wilhelm, refusing to take the pole vault mats out just so her team could get an extra workout, even though they were just for her. Now that's putting the team before yourself. Margot and Caitlin, I will miss you and hope only the best for you. I would like to give a special thank you to Sarah Stratton, who, although could not compete this year, was an excellent example of team leadership. She would approach every practice and track meet with enthusiasm and Spartan pride. Samantha Moravsky was Berkshire League and state champion for the second year in a row. Sam is an example of how hard work and perseverance pays off. She is yet to discover how good she is, and I wish her the best going forward. Sam will soon compete in the State Open Championships on June 8th. Sam and Julia led our team in points this year with outstanding performances day in and day out. They had a great supporting cast, including Bianca, Erin, Sam Patrick, Noelia, Lauren, Tia, Chelsea, and Emma. This young team looks forward to next year and plans to make an impact on the league. When I accepted this position, I expected to coach some young, elite athletes and see them improve. Reflecting back on the last 2 years, and it's been a long 2 years, I have obtained some nicknames: J Money, J Coins, and my personal favorite, French Vanilla. I guess the quest for them to call me coach still continues. This is just a testament to how much fun we have had over the years and what a great group of girls that are on this team. I will miss them all very much and wish them all the best going forward. Thank you. Coach Steve Pickett.
Our first practice this year was March 23rd. We started with snow and a couple of inches of ice on our field, and even more troubling at the time, pitcher Kelsey Johnson with a broken right hand on a pitching hand. Because there's no restrictions on how much you can pitch in softball, most teams pitch for one pitcher most of the time. And in the last 3 years, we played 62 games, and she pitched 61 of them. And all but 4 innings. We got 15 runs that day. All right, so it was next girl up, and Allie Hoffman and Olivia Moore stepped up and did a great job as pitching. Allie won 4 games, Olivia won 2, and they got valuable experience for varsity next year. Like last year, we won 11 games, falling 1 short of a home tournament game. So we got to take the merry 2-hour bus ride to Stafford. And we did see a car fire on the way. And it was hot when we went by. In that game, we were trailing 6-3 in the top of the 5th with 1 out and 2 runners on. And Olivia Moore blasted a 3-run homer to tie the score. Yeah, Stafford came back and scored a run in the bottom of the 6th to take a 1-run lead, 7-6. Down into our last out in the top of the 7th, we scored a run to tie it, 7-7. Stanford went on to win the game in the bottom of the 7th and end our season. After a couple days of figuring it out, it sunk in what happened, and I've never been prouder of a team. Even though we didn't win, the team never gave up. Scored, tied the game twice, scoring 2 times in the last 3 innings, and competed into the end. And after the game, sitting on the bench in silence and in tears, I saw the game meant a lot to each one of them, and they really enjoyed being on the team. Not for something stupid. I guess this is Twitter. Is John right here? John in the house? Yeah, is that Twitter story true? The Twitter story about wanting? All right. So, I don't understand that stuff. Well, I guess we hit it big. Somebody was trashing us on Twitter, saying Shepaug softball can't hit, all they do is bunt. Well, we got a kick out of this because we hardly ever bunt. And when we do bunt, we do it good. So I'm going to come to the defense of my hitters right now and show that we do more than bunt. In 21 games, we had a 368 team average, and you could bunt that, I guess. We scored 11 runs a game. That's a lot of bunting a game. Now we're going to our power bunting. We had 25 doubles, which I don't think should happen. Less likely bunting 14 triples, and even less likely hitting 9 home runs, bunting 9 home runs. And because I really love, I love extra base hits, I love doubles, I really love home runs. My home run hitters, Mary Beth Seeger, who probably wanted to bunt more, but I told her to stop. Because she had 3 home runs, 2 of them leading off a game, 1 on the first pitch of the game. Gianna Johnson had 3, Annie Rose had 2, and Olivia Moore smashed that last one the other day. Sophomore catcher Annie Rosa was named first team All-Star. Junior center fielder Mary Beth made second team. Honorable mention was senior Kelly Johnson. She's pitcher, second base, first base, left field. Gianna, our shortstop, made honorable mention. Freshman Olivia Moore made honorable mention. Kelsey was selected to play in the senior All-Star game coming up. Mary Beth and Gianna were selected to play in a junior All-Star game coming up. We have 3 seniors who made great contributions to the team. Jay Walker, the third baseman, who I looked at these stats and I was impressed, batted 1,000 her sophomore year, 400 her senior year. I think the coach might have played you more. Should have played you more for sure. And it was great to have her around. Brianna Miller, B-Mill. We gave her that nickname because we had 3 Briannas on our team at that time, so we had to change her names. One day, a couple years ago, I called her Brianna, and I told her, I just called you Brianna, and I've never done that before. And I told her I only tell her that if I'm mad at her. I never called her Brianna again. The most improved player I've had probably from day one. She's been starting right fielder for the last 2 years. And Kelsey Johnson, we were really at the bottom. If we're not at the bottom, we're standing on the rock at the bottom of the league. We went from 3 wins before we got there, before she got here, to 10, to 4, to 10, to 11, to 11. She gave us a starting and a finishing pitcher. I would like to thank Matt Parachi for all the help, especially when I flashed my computer skills. I even sent some text messages this year. Trainer Chris Schneider and the baseball team, especially my guys from the freshman basketball team. Are they here? Mike's got to be here. For putting up the batting net for us in the gym for batting practice before each practice. We have a lot of talented and experienced players returning, so I expect that we should have another good season next year. All right. I would like to introduce our next speaker, baseball coach Scott Werko.
Congratulations to all of the athletes, excuse me, and their families here tonight. I'd like to start off with thanking Coach Conway and Coach Kirsten for their work throughout the season, to Ray Wright and Dave Workoven for keeping the book. The worst injury of the year until John Swanson broke his finger was when Dave Workoven jumped in to demonstrate to be a runner for some first and thirds and somehow fell down and broke his collarbone. He's okay now, though. Thanks to Chris Schneider, who helped make him okay now, along with the rest of our guys. And thank you to Matt Paracci and Mrs. Gallo for their help and support throughout the season. But most of all, to the parents of the players, thank you for being there for your guys this season through some of the worst weather we had to start and some of the nicest weather later on. It's kind of hard to find the right word for this season. Aggravating, frustrating, exciting, rewarding. To sum it up, it was kind of a crazy season. We start 1-5 when we have games spread out, can line up our pitching. That worked really well. Then we play 4 games in 4 days, no chance to line up pitching, and we win all 4. So next year, I'm going to have Mr. Paracci's schedule is 20 games straight, and we're good. It was kind of a roller coaster, and to explain how crazy the season is, we go up to Northwest on a day that was not fit for baseball, get smacked around up there, only to turn around and come back and shut them out at home. We have the league champion beat for 6.5 innings. We score 3 in the 6th, 3 in the 7th. We're rolling. This is the one that's going to launch us, and aggravating. We let that one get away. And we get turned around and smacked by Terryville, who gets smacked by Mills, who everybody considers the best team and the best hitting team, and we shut Mills out twice, allowing them a total of 5 hits. Back to exciting, back to rewarding, here we go. So it was kind of up and down, but we ended with a couple of nice postseason awards. Travis Fitch, first team All-BL, and Ryan LeMay was second team. The 4 seniors, Christian Stewart, who came out for the team this year, Logan Roz for 3 years, and Sam Krebs and Travis Fitch, who spent 4 years in the program. Despite being up and down, and maybe not always going the way we wanted it this year, there aren't too many better ways to spend afternoons in the spring than with you guys down at Ted Alex Field. And every minute down there was enjoyable with you guys, and I appreciate everything you've done, and wish you guys the best of luck in the future. To the guys returning, we're looking forward to next year. I don't like Old Lyme very much either right now. They're not on our list. But we can improve. Collectively, we need to be more competitive. We need to avoid the complacency that sets in when we start doing well and work harder. But we have a good group to come back, and I'm excited for next year. And at this point, I would like to introduce our final speaker, Jarlo.
Now, most people will tell you that male pattern baldness is hereditary. Well, I have to tell you, coaching the Shepaug golf team for the last 17 years has definitely had something to do with this. I've given you many examples over the years, and tonight I'll give you a few more. Last season, we finished up really strong with Robert McCarthy and Griffin Yalagan finishing 1-2 at the Berkshire League All-Star Tournament. We were returning all 5 starters from last year's team, so we felt confident about challenging Litchfield and Lewis Mills for a league title. Unfortunately, shortly before the season was about to begin, I get word that our number 3 golfer was going to play baseball to stay in shape for hockey. I thought that was rather ironic, since last year I observed us huffing and puffing at times while playing the Hilly Washington Club course. I suggested maybe we should run the 9 holes before we play them. No one took me up on the offer. At our preseason meeting, we talked about being down a man and how everyone needed to step up their game. We still felt like we had a shot, and considering that we had 2 of the top golfers in the Berkshire League. The season, however, turned out to be a struggle, right from day one. Numerous factors were detrimental to these struggles. For one, the weather, as you've heard before. This was the worst spring for golf that I can remember. Practice theoretically began March 23rd, yet we were not able to practice on our home course until the second week of May. Think about that one for a minute. At the driving range, we were hitting balls in piles of snow. There were other factors, such as knowing the difference between a white and a red steak, knowing that you need to be in school by 9:15 in order to participate in a golf match in the afternoon, knowing which green to hit to on your second shot, and lastly, not locking your golf shirt and shoes along with your golf bag and car keys in the trunk of your car 5 minutes before the bus is leaving for the away match. However, it could have been worse. We were playing at Heritage Village Country Club, and Mike Taylor hits a beautiful shot 10 feet from the hole on a par 3. Out of nowhere, a large stray dog heads for Mike's ball. I sprint toward the dog, yelling and waving my arms, trying to scare him away, because if he picks up Mike's ball and runs 100 yards in the opposite direction and drops the ball, Mike must now have to play that ball from where it lies. Yes, the game of golf does have some strange rules. Keep in mind, though, that when the fathers of this game were writing some of these rules, they were under the heavy influence of some of Scotland's finest scotch. Our team was still able to finish with a 9-7 record, which was good enough for fourth place tie in the league. We also qualified for the state tournament. On Monday, we would be playing at Tallwoods Country Club in Hebron. Mr. Parachi has scheduled an early morning charter flight for us. Team members were Patrick O'Rourke, Hunter Bohan, Peters Proviero, Zach the Hinge Collette, Ricky from Miami Gamelin, James J-Man Foote. He was the winner of our top newcomer award. Co-winner of our most improved award was Eamon Plaxico Crossley. Eamon could not break 60 for 9 holes last year. Over the summer, he set goals for himself, and he worked hard on those goals. It paid off for him. He became a varsity starter in the number 5 spot, shaving 9 strokes off his previous year average. He also qualified for the Birch League tournament. 2-year starter Joseph Freeland saved his best for last by shooting a career-best 18-hole score of 86 at the Birch League All-Star Tournament. The other winner of our Most Improved Award was senior Michael Taylor. He also worked hard over the summer to improve his game and went from a 52 average down to a 47, playing in the number 3 spot for us in the lineup. Over the years, you have heard me introduce our last 2 team members as the odd couple, Mutt and Jeff, Bert and Ernie. They are seniors Robert McCarthy and Griffin Yalagan. During their first 2 years on the team, they played in the shadow of one Mia Landegren. But over the last 2 years, they played a caliber of golf which has earned them Birch League All-Star status during both seasons. They have really been the pillars of this program without a doubt. And they have been constantly and consistently 2 of the top 7 players in the Birch League for the last 2 years. They've traded winning our MVP and low average awards. Without them over the last 2 years, we could have easily gone 0-32. They are both great putters, averaging 15 putts per round. Here's an amazing putting stat for you. Between them, they only 3-putted 16 holes this season. That's 23 rounds times 9, which comes to 207 holes, only 16 3-putts, which means that when they did 3-putt, it was only for an incredible 7% of their holes played. Griffin will be heading to Providence College next year, and Robert has been accepted into the golf management program at Coastal Carolina. There are going to be 4 huge golf shoes to fill. Next year will be quite challenging for us since we are graduating 6 seniors and we'll only have 2 returning players with any match experience. I'd like to thank Matt Parachi for his continued support of the program and the work he does for the league, acting as the golf chairperson. The Lewis Mills administration for allowing me to continue to coach Shepaug golf, and the parents for their patience and driving efforts to a number of different courses in the early spring as we scramble to find courses to practice at. Now it's time to recognize the athletes with their individual awards.
Now for the presentation of student awards. As most of you know, the awards presented tonight are determined based upon the Shepaug Valley Athletic Point System, which is explained on pages 5 through 9 of your program. It should be noted that this point system rewards athletes for their service to Shepaug. Multi-sport, multi-year athletes are those who receive the top awards in our program. Each athlete who competes in a sport at Shepaug Valley High School is given points by his or her coach at the completion of each season based upon this point system. While athletes of all levels are given points, only varsity letter winners can qualify for awards and are invited to tonight's ceremony. Because of the large number of award winners honored tonight, we will present some awards in two groups. All award winners are asked to enter the stage directly in front of me, to stay on stage until all award winners have been presented their awards, and to exit on the opposite side. Tonight's first student awards are presented to our first-time letter winners. An athlete can win a varsity letter in one of two different ways. The first and most common way an athlete can win a letter is to have competed at the varsity level during the athletic season and have his or her coach designate them as a varsity letter winner based upon criteria that the coach has determined and explained at the beginning of the season. The second way an athlete can be determined a varsity letter winner is for an athlete to have accumulated 250 points before being named a varsity letter winner by his or her coach. Athletes who have accomplished this, which is a task that takes much determination and persistence, are awarded what is called an accumulated letter. Each first-time letter winner receives a traditional white and blue Shepaug varsity letter S. As I announce the names of each letter winner, I'd like each to come forward to receive his or her letter, to stay on stage until I have called every letter winner. I would also like to ask that everyone please hold his or her applause until I've called the last letter winner. Now for our first-time letter winners. Cristobal Aguirre. Alina Anderson. Cassidy Borger. Armin Sarek. Brandon Cheney. Olivia Cody. Alicia Crossley. Eamon Crossley. Nick Fleming. James Foote. Ricky Gamelin. Isaac Grunberg. Darwin Guaman. Alexis Gilbo. Brenda Gutierrez. Keyshawn Hudson. Nick Iannazzo. Megan James. Lily Keefe. James Kennedy. Emma Krebs. Kyle LeMay. Jake Lowe. And the last of our first half of first-time letter winners, Tyler Lynch. Congratulations to our first group of first-time letter winners. Thank you. Now for our second group of first-time letter winners. Claire Lyons, Olivia Moore, Michaela O'Malley, Sam Pontalillo, Marissa Prezioso, Nadia Raz, Connor Richardson, Mark Sayers, Avery Sarah, Sierra Seletsky, Trevor Southard, Alan Stinson, Grace Thurmer, Molly Thompson, Megan Tracy, Owen Tredenick, Jack Verbickus, Chelsea Walker, Dimity Waneg, Chandler Weatherby, Daniel Glazer, And the last of our first-time letter winners for 2015, Aaron Walsh. Congratulations to all of our first-time letter winners. Thank you. Our next group of award winners are our award pin winners. These athletes are return letter winners who will receive an award pin representing each sport he or she earned a varsity letter in this year. Kyle Anderson, Nick Andrews, Dylan Bennett, Lauren Bresson, Claire Keiko, Alden Kane, Ralph Capolozzi, Alejandra Cespedes, Alyssa Sissio, Zach Collette, Rachel Crossley, John DeFont, Lindsay Del Vecchio, Natalie Diller, Nico Fiorito, Mariah Fischetti, Marcus Fragamelli, Sandra Garcia, Rachel Genoa, Danny Geyer, Bianca Gomez, Allison Hoffman, Cody Jordan, Josh Jordan, and the last of our first group of award pin winners, Marin Keith. Congratulations, award pin winners. Thank you. Now for our second group of award pin winners, James Kish, Kate Klein, Dan Cotis, Bruce Levine, Julia Lindblom, Brian Mackay, Shannon Miller, Creighton Moore, Kaylee Mulhare, Lyden Palella, Sean Parker, Samantha Patrick, Tia Fon, Fernando Perez, Emily Prezioso, Josh Crawford, Nick Crawford, Jenna Raymond, Tom Roche, Annie Rosa, Connor Scher, Ron Seeger, Emily Taylor, Ashley Wagenblas, Maisie Waneg, Margaret Woke, Amber Marie White, and the last of our award pin winners for 2015, Luke Wright. Congratulations to 2015's award pin winners. Thank you. Our Our next award is presented to those that have accumulated 450 points and have earned a Shepaug Valley varsity jacket. In order to accumulate 450 points, an athlete must have participated in more than one sport. This year, in addition to juniors and seniors, we have some sophomores who have earned varsity jackets, which is a significant accomplishment since it's the best award possible for a 10th grader to receive. We're going to do our varsity jacket winners all in one group. Noelia Aguirre. Colin Decker. Lauren DeRochers. Jackie Dorwald. Connor Dusky. Austin Dutcher. Joseph Freeland. Madeline Gora. Gianna Johnson. Paige Johnson. Ben Levine. Trevor McGinty. Kate McGrath. Eric Quist. Logan Roz. Mary Beth Seeger. Sarah Stratton. John Swanson. Mike Taylor. Quentin Walsh. Ryan Welsh. Sean Welsh. Ed Wolf. And our last varsity jacket winner, Jade Walker. Congratulations to 2015 varsity jacket winners. Our next award is presented to those that have accumulated 600 points and will be awarded a Shepaug Spartan 600-point plaque. The earliest an athlete can win this award is in 11th grade, and along with many seniors, there are also some juniors who have reached the 600-point mark. We will do the 600-point plaques in one group. David DeMeo. Sadie Fleming. Caroline Kelly. Ryan LeMay. Sean Lavelle. Brianna Miller. Samantha Moravsky. Dan Ahn. Haley Pesci. Clayton Schneider. Christian Stewart. Emma Verbickus. Quentin Walsh. Ryan Welsh. Stephen Williams. Ed Wolf. And our last 600-point plaque winner, Griffin Yalagan. Congratulations, 600-point winners. Quite an accomplishment. The Berkshire League annually honors those students who are successful not only in athletics, but in academics as well. The Berkshire League Scholar Athlete Award goes to any athlete who has earned a varsity letter while academically achieving high honors. For fall sports, an athlete must achieve high honors in the first marking period. For winter sports, it must be done during the second marking period, and for spring sports, it must be done during the third marking period. We ask that the following Berkshire League Scholar athletes please come forward to receive your certificate when your name is called. Rachel Crossley, Kelsey Johnson, Rachel Genoa, Haley Pesci, Caroline Kelly, Clayton Schneider, Samantha Moravsky, Noelia Aguirre, Madeline Gora, Megan James, Emma Krebs, Michaela O'Malley, Avery Sarah, Emily Prezioso, Megan Tracy, John Swanson, Olivia Moore, John DeFont, Emma Verbicus, Trevor McGinty, Dan Cotis, Julia Lindblom, Sean Welsh, and our last Berkshire League Scholar Athlete, Josh Jordan. Congratulations to our 2015 Berkshire League Scholar Athletes. The Shepaug Valley Scholar Athlete Awards are given to the top senior boy and girl student athletes who have displayed a commitment to excellence in the areas of academics as well as athletics. This year's Scholar Athletes have consistently made sacrifices throughout their high school careers, and both are honor roll students. Our Scholar Athletes were recognized at the AquaTurf during the CIAC Scholar Athlete Banquet in May, but we also would like to recognize them here at Shepaug. This year's Scholar Athletes are Kelsey Johnson and Sam Krebs. Congratulations, Kelsey and Sam. Our next group of award winners, those who have reached the 800-point mark, will receive a silver 800-point award trophy. This year's group of 800-point winners are some of the most dedicated, consistent, and valuable multi-sport athletes at Shepaug. Clayton Furmender, Travis Fitch, Kelsey Johnson, Caroline Kelly, Sam Krebs, Andrew Loya, Robert McCarthy, Molly Mercier, Gemma Roche, Caitlin Smith, and our last 800-point winner for 2015, Margot Wilhelm. Congratulations for reaching 800 points, a very significant accomplishment. This year, we have had students named to the Berkshire League All-Star teams in their respective sports, as well as to All-State teams. Berkshire League All-Stars received their awards at last night's Berkshire League All-Star Banquet, but we would like to recognize their achievements here tonight. I would like to ask each All-Star athlete to please stand when his or her name is called. Caroline Kelly. All-state in soccer and in basketball, Virtual League All-Star in soccer, basketball, and tennis, and the league singles champion in tennis. Eric Quist, All-State in cross country. Ed Wolf, All-State in cross country. Sean Parker, All-State in cross country. Andrew Loya, All-State Division III MVP, SCC SWC All-Star, and SCC SWC Division III Player of the Year in ice hockey. Colin Decker, All-State and a Virtual League All-Star in swimming, Virtual League All-Star in track. Kelsey Johnson, Virtual League All-Star in field hockey. Molly Mercier, Virtual League All-Star in field hockey and tennis, and one half of the Virtual League doubles tennis champions. Mary Beth Seeger, Virtual League All-Star in field hockey. Samantha Moravsky, Virtual League All-Star in soccer and track, All-State in track, and the Class S state champion in javelin. Clayton Furmender, Virtual League All-Star in swimming. Haley Pesci, Virtual League All-Star in swimming. Sean Lavelle, Virtual League All-Star in diving. Quentin Walsh, Virtual League All-Star in track. Trevor McGinty, Virtual League All-Star in track. Ralph Capolozzi, Virtual League All-Star in track. Mark Sayas, Virtual League All-Star in tennis. League singles champion in tennis. All-State in tennis. And the state champion in singles. Madeline Dora, Virtual League All-Star in tennis, and the other half of the league doubles champion in tennis. Annie Rosa, Virtual League All-Star in softball. Travis Fitch, Virtual League All-Star in baseball. Griffin Yalagan, Virtual League All-Star in golf. And our last All-Star athlete of the year, Robert McCarthy, Virtual League All-Star in golf. Congratulations to all of you for representing Shepaug and making everyone here proud. 1,000-point award winners are those athletes who have been consistent three-sport athletes throughout their high school careers. This year's 1,000-point award recipients have not only been dedicated and consistent, but they have also shown leadership, responsibility, athletic excellence, and sportsmanship throughout their high school athletic careers here at Shepaug. Our first 1,000-point award winner for 2015, Clayton Furmender. Our second 1,000-point award winner for 2015, Kelsey Johnson. And our final 1,000-point award winner for 2015, Margot Wilhelm. Congratulations, 1,000-point award winners, a tremendous accomplishment. Now we have come to the two top awards based upon the Shepaug Valley Athletic Points System, the Joseph Babcock Award and the Charles McGinnis Award. These awards are given to the top senior girl and top senior boy point winners each year. It's important to note these awards are based solely upon point totals and and are not judgments of athletic ability. However, it's also important to note that an athlete cannot win either of these awards without being one of the school's elite athletes. Winners of the Babcock and McGinnis Award are those athletes who have consistently made the greatest contributions to their respective athletic teams from freshman year until senior year. The Joseph Babcock Award, which goes to the senior girl who has accumulated the most points, was initiated in 1980 by the Shepaug Valley High School coaching staff. Joseph Babcock was an avid sports fan that rarely missed a field hockey, girls basketball, or softball game. Mr. Babcock has had this award, as well as a scoreboard in the gymnasium, named in his memory. As a member of the Shepaug field hockey, basketball, and softball teams, the winner of the 2015 Joseph Babcock Award is Kelsey Johnson. The Charles McGinnis Award, which goes to the senior boy who has accumulated the most points in his class, was established in 1962 by the Washington High School coaching staff. Charles McGinnis was an avid Washington High School sports fan who has had this prestigious award named in his memory. As a member of the cross-country, swimming, and track teams, the winner of the 2015 Charles McGinnis Award is Clayton Furman. Lastly, each year, the Berkshire League presents the top overall senior athlete with the Raymond Marinko Award. Raymond Marinko, who, while a coach and athletic director at Wamogo Regional High School, influenced not only his students, but the league as well, in the best tradition of all that is admirable in the field of athletics. This honor is awarded by the coaches and athletic directors of the league to the one senior athlete in the Berkshire League who best exemplifies the following qualities: outstanding athletic ability, scholarship, leadership, integrity, courage, versatility, and service. This award is the only league-wide award given to an individual, and it is a very prestigious honor. I am proud to present to you, as announced at last night's Berkshire League All-Star Banquet, the 2015 Raymond Marinko Award goes to Shepaug's Kelsey Johnson. I'd like to thank all the student athletes, not only for coming tonight, but for getting dressed up and making this event a special event. It really is a special event here because of your guys' attitudes and for coming here. I'd like to wish everyone congratulations, and I'd also like to thank everyone in attendance, and before you drive home safely, please join us in the mall for desserts. Thank you and good night.
Thank you.